Hello, everyone, and welcome back to another 10-minute eye test. This is Sasha with Arcanametrics. I'm here with my good friend and colleague Carmelo. Today, we're looking at Lumoz, 10 minutes on the books for Lumoz, modular compute layer for ZK and AI. Carmelo, how you doing, brother?
Doing well. I think I'm pretty excited because I think this is the first time we are covering an actual node sale, right? Correct me if I'm wrong.
Ooh, that's right. I forgot to mention. So this is not a token sale. This is not. They're not listing a token. I mean, well, they will be listing a token, I assume, because they're launching a token. But Lumos is right now offering a node sale in the market. I believe you could buy the node or buy nodes at Fjord Foundry. Should be live right now. So they're selling nodes. What we know about nodes is that typically they are paired with blockchains. So I assume they're launching a blockchain. I assume there's some ZK and there's some AI and some other fun buzzwords. So yeah, we're going to take a different approach. What kind of things are you going to look for in this analysis?
Yeah, I mean, obviously, it's no secret that we've been doing a bunch of research on nodes lately for some of our clients and for curiosity. So we're going to be putting out more content on that. So stay tuned, like and subscribe, and do all those things if you like node sale content. But yeah, I'm looking for. I think the biggest thing is like how quickly can you break even on your investment in a node, and when will you start to actually gain money or return on investment. So we've seen a lot of massive raises for node sales, and some of them have done quite well and some of them not so well. So I'm looking to see if it's actually necessary to run the network, which by the sound of it, ZK Rollup as a service, yeah, it sounds like just off the surface, I think they might actually be one of those projects that needs nodes. So I'm curious to see more about that, and what technical specs you'll need to run a node is another thing I look for, because like, is this something that anybody can do, or would you have to delegate it to a service, or is it very simple and you just hit a button and you stake some tokens? So that's what I'm looking for mostly.
Yeah, good take, good take. And so maybe make sure you stick around till the end where we give our verdicts on what we think about this node sale. We're going to take I guess maybe like a different perspective than a token launch because nodes operate differently from tokens. But without much further ado, let's go ahead and put 10 minutes on the clock starting meow. Okay, 10 minutes on Lumos. We've got a node sale active until the 1st of August, so that's going to be tomorrow. And immediately I see some big names here, man.
Yeah, for sure. I don't know how long they've been looking or engaging with these investors, but it looks like the reports of the demise of node sales has been overstated. So there's obviously some institutional interest and retail interest in buying nodes.
Yeah, I mean they've got KuCoin Ventures, they've got some other ones on here. Oh my goodness, Crypto Rank not loading. What are you doing? Let's go over to fundraising and see what we got. So here we go. We've got Hashkey Capital, OKX Ventures, Sandeep Nailwall, KuCoin Ventures, Kernel Ventures. We've got some big names in this cap table, man.
Yeah, I think there's even some. I took a brief look at the website before the video, and I saw on the front page of the website they have more investors and VCs, so they got backing.
Yeah, absolutely.
Fjord
And so
Foundry is the only node sale pad. Seems kind of interesting, or I don't know what their launch strategy is, but I guess I would like to know more about who they're partnering with and how they're going to be selling nodes as well.
yeah, absolutely. And I wonder if, like, pre-Series A, strategic, I wonder if these are equity investments. They've bought nodes or they bought tokens in the pre-sale. But looking at some of these numbers, they've raised, according to CryptoRank, over $11 million. And the token, I think, is set for a $120 million valuation at launch. That's not crazy when you consider this is potentially a full-fledged blockchain network. Not really sure what it does yet, but that valuation's okay, right?
Yeah, it doesn't pop out as absurd, so it passes muster there. I don't think it's anything unreasonable.
Oh, let's take a look at the website. So we got lumos.org
Modular
as we see.
compute layer. All right, they got a cool, fiery node sale button to attract my
Mm,
attention because I tend to gravitate towards colorful buttons. So well
and
done.
emojis. Yeah, they got
And
all their backers here.
Yeah, it looks pretty nice. Big backing. Nice looking website. Launch a ZK rollup, so they're trying to attract builders from the get go. I'm wondering what the demand is to launch a ZK rollup and who their target customers are. It's pretty cool that they create a rollup in 10 minutes on layer
Wow.
ones or ZK EVM. So that's really cool. I did not know that they were doing that.
You see this? Like building Lego bricks, man. I like that.
Interesting.
Yeah, and they've got like all the major chains, including Bitcoin. So ZK EVM type, they've got all the usual suspects, data availability, sequencer, and so it looks like you could build a roll-up solution that might be purpose driven for like an application chain. Fantastic.
Yeah, if you can make that accessible and easy to do, I don't think there's a demand for it right now in 2024, but maybe in the next few years, it's going to become more commonplace where people just start designing their own, enterprise blockchains for any purpose.
Wonder what happens. Oh man, this is cool.
You
I'm having fun already. I'm building
just
a
created a
roll-up, dude.
blockchain.
Wonder how much money I have to spend for this. But
So many
yeah,
devs, so many devs just lost their jobs.
yeah, poor devs.
Poor
Devs are
devs.
always getting shafted. Wow, that's pretty cool, man. Okay, so let's go back to Lumos and see what the token's about, right? What do the nodes do?
Yeah.
This is our big question because they're selling nodes. We want to understand what's the value of those nodes? What do I stand to gain by investing in or buying a node? And how important is the node for the network? So we see it's
So proof of
oof,
work. Interesting. Not a
yeah,
bad thing.
but they
Doesn't
say
have
they're
to be
the
a bad thing.
leading compute layer. They haven't
Ooh.
even launched yet.
Yeah, I think like there's a Celestia is launched already. They're doing something similar.
Okay. And they've got the prover network. So I'm assuming that they're selling prover nodes. And in that sense, I believe the prover node is just going to add like some network security on top of the existing parent network. So they provide cloud infrastructure for ZKP computation that's compatible with most types of ZK rollups. They have a ZK proof of work algorithm that combines miners' computational resources with cloud infrastructure. So that's really cool. I think we've seen some similar projects like that, right?
Yeah. Uh, yeah, I think there's going to be more of a focus on zero knowledge tech and infrastructure. So many people want to incorporate that into their blockchains or apps, but they don't know how to yet. So this is probably the audience they're targeting.
Mhm. And we've got some nice diagrams how it works. So you've got a JSON RPC. You've got the rollups contract. You've got the transaction information going to an aggregator service, and then you've got all the different provers that are part of that. I suppose validation mechanism. Interesting.
Well, it's really interesting, but I'm wondering how they drive demand for the token and for the nodes beyond just speculation, because it's not a really easy concept to grasp, even for people that know the tech, let alone your average crypto user.
It's a good question. Maybe we could find some more information in like another tab, but I just want to point out, like, guys, come on, you could spell words correctly. You don't have to do this. But you've got compute to earn. That's quite common. We're seeing that with Aether. We're seeing that with a lot of different edge computing, decentralized edge computing networks. Affordable computility. That's an interesting word. I don't know if it's the right use of that word, but yeah, like affordable compute resources and robustize your work. That's definitely not a word.
Well, at least it's not ChatGPT generated.
That's true. It's definitely not ChatGPT. I guess let's go to the node sale and see what it actually offers, right?
Yeah.
This is
All right.
pretty cool.
So you can purchase it on OKX.
They've got a public sale round that's currently in progress. And then the first thing that they throw your way is a node buyback guarantee, something that's becoming more popular because there are some node players that have like completely screwed investors in the current market. So I think, offering that sort of like that safety net is a good idea. We could check
Hmm.
out the rules, but let's see what we got. They've got over 28,000 nodes on testnet right now. Does that mean they've sold 28,000 nodes?
No, I don't think so if it's on testnet, but yeah, it's kind of a weird thing to talk about. And yeah, these are ZK verifier nodes too, so that's important to note.
And then they have lightweight nodes. They can easily engage in ZK computations and receive network rewards. This is the name of the game when it comes to nodes. You're receiving rewards based on the amount of activity on the network. So you can buy a node license, you can run a node client, and you can earn rewards. And I suppose the token is just part of that consensus mechanism, right? But if Lumos is a network, does that mean that all of the rollups Lumos allows these builders to build will be built on Lumos? I don't think so.
No, can't be. But if you're helping other networks, I'm wondering how they pay for it. They haven't mentioned anything about the cost and where these token rewards will come from. I don't think it will be like a standard gas fee. So yeah, I'm interested to see what the model is there.
Yeah, I mean, there's not a lot of information so far, and a lot of times in these node sales, you have to like dive deep to see essentially like what are the metrics, how are they selling nodes, what are they doing, and so we have a Gitbook kind of white paper here on Lumos and the nodes. They've got
Hmm.
licenses for selling these nodes, pre-sale rounds, times of the round. So far, no prices, right?
I think they said something about prices in the first tab, maybe the pre-sale round.
Oh, it
Uh,
was it was this is just the
yeah.
price of these assets though.
Okay. So
Ethereum,
they pegged
Bitcoin.
the asset price. Ah, there you go.
Here's the number of different nodes. Um, and so yeah. Oh, here's the prices. Okay, so they've got 10 total tiers across their node sale. They're selling 100,000 different nodes, and they've got some implied FDVs of what the token supply should be in order for you to break even. This is a really important thing because a lot of people that buy nodes in this, for example, round number 10 for $700, maybe they don't break even unless the token supply maintains $150 million or $280 million, depending on the number of active nodes on the network. Oh,
So
10 minutes.
what's that like $50 million raise on like average 100,000 nodes if they sell out?
Um, yeah, I mean, you've got 100,000 here, and then maybe the average price, if we look at this, it looks like they might be trying to raise, yeah, like $50 million or so, maybe $40 million. And that's a lot for a node sale, honestly. I don't know what they're using that funding for. It's also another question to consider. Like, do they need to raise this much? How many nodes do they really need to sell to like have that level of decentralization in the network that they're going for? And also, what are the other responsibilities of node operators? But you know what I just
Yeah.
realized, man? 10 minutes is not enough for a node sale.
I mean, 10 minutes isn't enough for a token, but yeah, definitely not for a node sale. You would need like a 1 hour primer on node sales themselves before doing a node sale video, before doing a node sale analysis or eye test. So I think a lot of our viewers probably don't even understand node sales, which is fair. It's a relatively new concept. We're learning a lot about it now ourselves, and it's a new space, so nobody's an expert on this yet.
Yeah, I mean, it's funny that you mentioned that because if you guys make sure you like and subscribe because we've got a node sale primer video coming out following a node sale primer article that we're going to be publishing talking all about node sales, what are they, why they're important, how you can invest in node sales, and what to look for in a node sale investment. So that's going to be coming very soon. But based on what we've seen for Lumos so far, I guess it's verdict time. What have you learned, man?
Not a whole lot. I think the information was a bit sparse for a node sale, but I'm sure that if we kept digging in that Git book, we would get some of the more answers we're looking for or we're accustomed to wanting to know. I think Lumos itself sounds like a really cool concept. I love ZK rollups, so I'm always, whenever we take an investment pitch, I'm wondering when they mention ZK or verifying zero knowledge proofs. And I'm like, all right, how are you going to do that? Do you know anything about that? And the answer is usually no, or, dancing around the question. But we're going to start seeing more infrastructure plays like this that are actually going to help these projects accomplish their goals. And that's very useful. Obviously, they've convinced quite a few backers on the equity or token side. I don't know what the demand is. I haven't checked anything, how many nodes they've sold or what the traction is right now or how node sales are even doing in general. But I would look into this. It feels like they fairly priced their nodes. They have a lot of nodes, which kind of worries me, 100,000. I don't know how many they actually need to run this network or to make it run well. And is it so simple as the more the better? Does that diminish rewards for me as a node runner? So these are all questions I would ask if I had the time and the resources. But on the surface, it's definitely interesting enough to look deeper into. I usually would say no to most node sales because you and I have seen a few bad node sales that don't do anything. And for all we know, the nodes aren't even really nodes, they're just NFTs. So I would dig more into this one. It seems useful, seems necessary. You can make a case that these nodes are necessary. So I give it a thumbs up.
Yeah, that's an interesting take. I have a bit of a hot take, and it's a bit contrarian to what you said. I'm gonna go one thumb sideways, and I'll tell you why. Number one, if we think about some Rollup as a service companies, shout out to our boys over at Caldera. Like, these guys are creating Rollups, they're creating blockchain networks and node networks for their clients. And they're doing it without launching a blockchain themselves, without pre-selling a token, and without trying to educate users on why that token needs to exist or why those nodes need to exist. So essentially, you're like a tech service provider that's providing some sort of tech service, and you're charging clients for it. I'm not sure still why a blockchain's involved here. I'm not sure why a decentralized node network is involved here. The fact that they have these backers on the cap table might mean that there is something I'm missing. So I'm willing to dive a bit deeper. As far as the node sale itself, I have no idea if it's something I would invest in, because obviously we've established with 10 minutes that we need way more time in figuring out if the nodes make sense. What do the nodes actually do? What are the requirements for running a node? How much compute resources is it going to consume from your computer or hardware device? How much is that going to cost you? And what do you stand to earn as far as token rewards? And also, like, how many other node operators are there? How are your rewards going to be diluted? Mm-hmm. So I think it's something I want to dive deeper into. But just the fact that there are others that compete with this business that are successful, that are not launching a blockchain, is a bit of a concern.
Yeah, and you brought up some good points. And another point that you and I think we talked about previously is the node sales structure doesn't exist in a vacuum. So we don't know much about the token itself. And that is a foundational layer or component for the nodes themselves. So without knowing what these tokens do, if they're simply reward mechanism and they have no other use, we didn't see anything about the supply, the demand side. So that's another thing we'd have to dig into, because I have no idea what the token's actual function in the ecosystem is and why I, as a node runner, would want to accrue those other than just selling them on the open market. So that's an interesting thing to look into too, if we had time.
That's such a good point. We didn't see anything about token utility. So node operators are getting rewarded in tokens, and we don't know what those tokens are. You might as well replace the word token with point, because they haven't done a good job of explaining what those tokens are used for. But maybe in another video, another time. That's 10 minutes in the books for Lumoz. Thanks everyone for watching. Make sure you tap that like button. Stick around and subscribe. We got more node sale content coming out real soon. And as always, stay safe out there. Ciao, y'all.